You're not filming this, are you? Rita?
How's everything going?
Oh, it's pretty scary. Is there a caregiver we can send to the Westgate Hotel? Like a
When?
Like immediately?
Immediately?
I have to go. I'll call you back. Ryan's calling me. Hang on, I'll put you on hold. Ryan?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get a caregiver over to you right now.
Well, good.
See if you can get him to take a nap. See if you can just keep him calm. I love you. Thanks. Rita?
I'm gonna call Kathy.
Call Kathy. His name's Larry. He's really a nice guy from Minnesota. He's just a little shocked right now that he's here. I gotta go. As soon as possible, okay? I really don't know what the fuck just happened, but we got Larry back to the Westgate Hotel. My uncle came over there. I'm trying to get a caregiver to sit with Larry. He didn't sleep last night. He thinks he's in Minnesota. I don't know. This probably shouldn't go in the movie. That was a scary moment.
Zach's been working on a documentary about onion rings for 3 years of his life, full time. Full time. He quit his job. he was the president of the largest nanny and housekeeping firm in the country, and left it to make a documentary about onion rings, and it's 3 years later and still not done. The story, it's a mutant. it's mutated through brute force tenacity
and endless resources.
There were multiple points where it just felt like we were done, and we could have been done, but then more spectacular things happened that you can't say no to.
Where's legendary Larry?
Right here, Paul. There he is.
How are you?
I am so conflicted about everything that happened.
It's my last vice. Cigarettes. I gotta quit. I don't drink. I don't gamble. I used to have a gambling problem.
Not anymore, though.
Went to rehab. I live in Las Vegas. I played at casinos. I mean, gambling is everywhere in Las Vegas, even in the gas stations, in the grocery stores. No matter where you go, you can't avoid it in this town. I played video poker at first. I would win. Obviously, that's what keeps you coming back. But you lose more than you win. This town was not built on winners. Anyways, I go to rehab. It literally saved my life. And I got the video bug while I was there. I talked to everybody in rehab, and I wrote a script. He even let me put the addicts in the film.
Change the things I can and the wisdom to know the difference. And now I live my life one day at a time.
I brought the whole rehab facility to tears. They told me at the rehab facility I invented video therapy for addicts. I got out of rehab in May of 2015. And a month or two later, my grandfather, Martin Cap, from Minneapolis, he passed away.
St. Paul.
Okay, you're throwing me off. Okay. Okay. Okay.
You can't say Minneapolis.
Okay.
You gotta say, my papa, Martin Cap from St. Paul.
Okay. I was blessed with an inheritance that my grandfather left me. So when he told me to follow my passion, which was filmmaking, I knew I wanted to do that. I wanted to prove to myself, prove to my family and my friends and the world that I'm Zach Cap, I'm a filmmaker. Don't look in the camera.
Okay, look at you. My name is Lexi Lionel, and I'm from a little dot on the planet Round Lake, Minnesota, Nobles County, and the people back there really are the salt of the earth. I realize now more than ever how precious it was. The documentary came about when we were back visiting my mother, and my oldest son, Zachary, was realizing every time we'd go back to Worthington or Nobles County or that area, wherever Larry Lang was, we would have his onion rings. And finally, my son said, "What is it with these onion rings?"
Why did I make a movie about onion rings? For me, these onion rings were a big part of my childhood. This was the first idea I had, and I just went with it. I wasn't even going to consider another idea. I was going to make a movie about these onion rings.
My name is Tom Sietsema. I'm with the Washington Post in Washington, D.C. The reason you can't see my face is because I think anonymity is very important when one is a restaurant critic. I've had fields of onion rings over several decades of reviewing restaurants, and these are the best onion rings I've ever had anywhere.
Maybe he's got a secret.
He does have a secret.
He's got to have a secret. They were just perfect.
Like I died and went to heaven.
They were just luscious, you know.
The bloomin' onion and all the different onion rings you can get in all the they don't compare.
Oh yes, without a doubt. Best onion rings I've ever had.
Let me just mention this. I never wanted to be in this movie. I went to school for TV production, and at first I was going to make a television pilot called American Food Legends. And as part of it, I was trying to figure out who invented the onion ring itself. 5 different people lay claim to inventing the onion ring, and I wanted to get to the bottom of that.
The origin of the onion ring is really unknown. They may have been created in more than one place at one time, and the exact origin is just simply unknown.
All right. It wasn't until this news article came out in the Worthington Daily Globe saying that our production team was coming to town, and the next day, I mean, there were hundreds of missed calls and voicemails and so many emails. Everybody had a story to tell about Larry. I made the decision. I said, we're not going to figure out who invented the onion ring anymore. We're going to tell a story about the Langs, and specifically Larry.
I'm looking at you. Oh, good. I like that.
Zach, if you can slide over as much.
I like looking at Zach anyway.
Oh, good. Me too.
Okay, good. Let this be the first of many movies. One day you're going to make Poppy Day a real movie.
Yeah, Poppy Day. All right.
I think Catherine Zeta-Jones should be in it.
My mom, her first job was working at Michael's restaurant.
I played the organ, and I want to describe for you now Michael's Steakhouse. When you would walk in, and those who were there will remember this, you'd walk in, I don't care if it was a cold, blistery day and the snow was coming down, but they would come through those doors after they pull under that ramp, the arch there to get in, and you just felt the love.
Michael's was a center. I think iconic is the word. Larry, who grew up in the restaurant, and Michael, his father. They lived right there. The food was good. You're well taken care of. In fact, there were times when people kind of made fun a little bit of Larry and Michael because they were so attentive.
He'd always come out with a pitcher of water in one hand and a coffee pot in the other one.
Water constantly filled and our coffee constantly filled.
Larry would keep filling it 12 times.
He was a kitchen ninja and a dining room ballerina.
He's kind of a rock star.
I always enjoyed going to Michael's, you know, because it was a good place to go eat and everything like that. One day I saw the fire truck going down the highway and I thought, I wonder where they're going.
All of a sudden I heard Michael in a panic, saying that there was smoke.
Man, I said, Michael's Steakhouse is on fire.
Everybody cleared the building. We had thick black smoke just belching out of the north picture windows. And within 3 minutes, the whole kitchen area was just ablaze.
The fire marshal's office was contacted. The fire started in the basement, and there'd been accelerant used in it and a lot of paper.
As the investigation started to turn towards looking at, okay, this fire was set. And I got calls from Mike and Larry weekly, finding out what's going on, where are you at? Did you find out who did it?
As far as I know, they never did figure out exactly who had done it.
After Michael's restaurant burned down, and it left a giant hole in that community, and Larry, he decided to reopen the Michael's brand in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
How are we doing right now?
This family-owned steakhouse has been aged to perfection after spending nearly 60 years in Worthington, Minnesota.
Well, I see a lot of the same people coming.
Larry Michael Lang is the son of Michael Lang, who opened Michael's Spaghetti House in 1949 after returning from the war.
In 1956, he remodeled and then decided to change it to the steakhouse. One of his customers mentioned that he thought that getting away from the spaghetti house would be better.
Thick steaks are just one of several mouth-watering items on the menu, but many of the regulars come to Michael's looking for one thing: the onion rings. You won't find any frozen rings in this kitchen. Every order of Michael's rings is handmade, beginning with the batter. Staff makes a secret recipe 3 gallons at a time. The onions are then cut by hand, battered by hand, then fried by hand. With Eye on Kelloland, I'm John Wilson.
But then there was a problem with the lease, so he opened it again. After that, Larry's mother, Olive, got very sick, and she passed away. And Larry's sister, Linda, who was living in Los Angeles at the time, she flew back home to live with Larry. And you got to keep in mind, they lived, and they still live, in that house 90 yards away from that original Michael's restaurant. And then Larry's father got sick, Michael, and Michael's the one that really pushed Larry into the restaurant business since he was 6 years old. And Michael was Larry's best friend. His dad was his best friend in the world, and then he passed away. So tragedy after tragedy after tragedy, I mean, nothing was going right.
Michael's never reopened, so Larry worked at other people's restaurants as a cook.
When I found him, we went to the Wilmot Saloon number 7 in Wilmot, Minnesota, a town I had never heard of before with a population of under 200.
Oh yeah, they all, when they come here, the first thing they say is, I want to have onion rings, and is Larry here? Yes. And then I say, yes. Can he bring them out? Well, yes, he can.
Yes, thank you. Have I told you lately that I love you? But I tell you once again somehow. Have I told you with all my heart and soul how I adore you? Well, Larry, we're telling you now.
Well, thank you. You enjoy those onion rings?
No matter where Larry is, people will drive hundreds of miles if they have to just to have these onion rings.
We followed him to Sioux Falls, and we followed him to Brandon and some of the different places he's been. And one thing that doesn't change are the onion rings.
The onion rings have been our biggest selling item by far.
When I first told him I want to film him for this documentary, he wasn't sure at first.
My brother's shy.
And I had to reach out to the Wilmot Saloon. He needs people to tell him sometimes what's best for him.
Hi, Lynn. My name is Zachary Capp. My mother and I both spoke with Larry extensively, and it was apparent that he wanted to make sure you were on board with the idea prior to committing.
Hi, Zach. Yes, I spoke with Larry last night, and yes, he is on board. Lynn A. Johnson, attorney at law.
So I put a team together, a team that I trust.
Zach explained it to me by saying that he would like to possibly do a food show for like a television series called American Food Legends. He said the other thing would be just to do something, you know, like a documentary that would make Worthington proud.
What I signed on for was called American Food Legends. And this was going to be the pilot of a show that went around the country meeting local food legends and telling their story in sort of a 1.5 hour episode.
Yeah, he called me up randomly and said, Pete, I got the greatest idea for a documentary. It's about this guy named Larry Lang. He makes the world's greatest onion rings, and he lives in this little town in Minnesota. I make a lot of docu stuff, History Channel, Discovery Channel, you name it. And I was like, Zach, that sounds like the most boring doc I could ever think of.
First, I invested in a company. I formed a company with my brothers, Capros, and got hats printed. I mean, we're caps. We need caps on our head. And I invested in amazing equipment, top of the line Canon cinema cameras, essential accessories, drones. I wanted the best of the best. Best sound equipment. I was all in. I flew everybody out to Minnesota, where the production began, and it was a ton of fun. We interviewed some amazing people over those first 12 days. We reunited a garage band who wrote a song about Larry. They were called Dead Man's Party.
Everything that he serves is made by hand and fresh that day. He wouldn't have it any other way. They all say, I don't want to have Larry's life. He leads a hard one, no fun inside. I don't want to have Larry's life. He goes home alone at the end of the night. I don't want to have Larry's life.
And who else? We interviewed all the mayors from Worthington.
I always admired him for his service to Worthington and just his enthusiasm.
And you'd tell Larry to bring his trombone. Of course, wow, there would be Larry, and he'd have his trombone.
Everybody knew Larry, you know, because he worked day and night.
Anybody with a great story to tell about Michael's or Larry's or those onion rings, they came out of the woodworks. The woods. They came out of the woods. Woodworks or woods? Or what is that phrase?
Larry would take pocketfuls of dimes. Back then you could use the payphone, and he'd order food from his suppliers during school.
I kind of like working with him. Anytime you were there, he was there.
They had something about service. And really, at the end of the day, it's all about serving. And it's all about service.
My mother, she's the type of person that can walk into any room and give her 5 minutes, and she'll know just about everybody in the room.
Oh my God, the funniest thing, I'm sitting next to Eddie last night from Utica, and Eddie says, Lexi, take a look at this. There's George Foreman with the bodyguard behind him. But he probably needs that.
My mom really just helped me get in the door with the Langs. I mean, it's not easy getting in touch with Larry.
I'm gonna follow right behind you. And if, this is how you've been doing it your whole life, right? Pretty much every day, right?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, yeah, I'm just talking to you for small talk, but yeah, just keep doing your thing.
Yep. Yeah, we kill them every night.
Oh, okay. Great.
That way these are the best flavor.
Uh-huh. Cool. You can go ahead and walk on out with that.
Walk back.
It's just, for me, seeing Larry every year of my life, seeing how quirky he was, how beloved he was in the community, I knew there was a story here. Are there any favorite school memories that you have? Anything would be fine.
Oh, just the overall.
My name is Linda Lang, and I am the sister. I shouldn't say I'm the older sister to my brother, but I'm the older sister.
If Linda wasn't Larry's sister, I don't think I would have had any access to Larry.
All right,
Did you get a double cheeseburger just now?
Yeah.
All right, that's good.
There, I got you.
Price is right, too. That's.
I grew up here in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and then went out to LA in the 80s and 90s.
She starred in a straight-to-VHS project called Mother Goose Workout. She played Mother Goose and she wrote the songs.
Hi, girls and boys. I'm Mother Goose. Welcome to the Mother Goose Workout.
There's a way to keep in shape with Mother Goose. It's so easy. 1, 2, 3. Having fun.
Everyone say abdominal.
Linda saw this film as an opportunity to bring her family into the spotlight, where they belong.
There's no business like restaurant business, like no business we know. Every day we try to make it better. Every day we show our humble friendship. Nowhere could you get that happy feeling when you are serving that special dish like onion rings. There's no people like restaurant people. We smile when we are alone. Even when you're serving and there's something goes wrong, like dropping trays and breaking plates. Even though it sounds as though it's not worth it, we're all for one and one for all. Let's go on with the work.
In my mind, this movie was a win-win. It was a win for me. I was following my passion. And it was a win for the Langs, who had experienced so many tragedies in their life that they were due for a win.
Do you think that there was a void that you were trying to fill?
You're asking me, do you think I replaced my gambling addiction with this film? I don't think I did. I think you might think I might be trying to fill that kind of void. But to me, it's a healthy void. A void that was empty, that should have been full for a long time. That's my passion void.
Well, what should the relationship between a documentary filmmaker and a subject be?
A documentarian should be a fly on the wall.
Were you?
At first I was. I'm with you and me, Larry. Just a quick selfie.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Here we go. And then I got involved in the story. I started to make things happen. I wanted to change his life. I threw a birthday party for Larry.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
It was a really eclectic crowd, and I wanted Larry to have a fun night. God knows he needs to have fun. I don't know how much fun he has anymore. The birthday party, it didn't feel like a big enough ending for this movie. I just wanted the happiest ending ever made in the history of cinema. So I thought, what about a big parade?
The Tri-State High Country Highway, US 95, celebrating Turkey Week. Gobble, gobble goes paycheck.
Gobble.
Turkey Day is a big festival in Worthington, Minnesota, where the whole town comes. There's thousands of people there. And they line up on Main Street, and there's a big festival and a parade. Before the parade, they have something called the Great Gobbler Gallop, where Paycheck, the turkey from Worthington, faces off against Ruby Begonia, who's the turkey from Cuero, Texas, and they race down the main street of Worthington, and whoever wins the Great Gobbler Gallop is the champion.
Well, it was our hope and intention to have Larry be one of the judges for the Great Gobbler Gallop.
Well, she thought it'd be nice because we're filming the documentary out there, and Larry could come and then have a featured role at Turkey Day.
You had actually talked me into asking him. He might have thought, maybe a little bit of pressure having to do that. That's what I think. Okay. So he thought he should do it for the documentary, I think.
Paycheck's race team let us film their practice, and they granted us permission to feed the turkey Larry's onion rings before the big race.
Paycheck.
Pay attention.
Racing food. Paycheck, racing food. Yeah!
Oh, wait.
The turkey loved the onion rings. We weren't sure if Larry was going to come. And Darlene told me that Larry called her back and he was very nervous.
We ended up having to find someone else because I think at the time he just said yes hesitantly when he first agreed to it, and then after he thought about it, I think it just made him a little bit uncomfortable to be in front of all those people with a stopwatch, especially, you know, being a timer. That's just not Larry's thing. He likes to be in the background.
Because Larry didn't show up, in my mind, I thought Turkey Day was a bust. And the crew went home, but in the back of my mind, I kept thinking, we're gonna come back. At this point in the production, I had already spent a fortune, much more than I wanted to. It was a significant chunk of my inheritance. I became obsessed with finding the greatest ending to this movie, no matter what it took.
Later that year, my mom and I went back to Worthington.
I went there to go visit my grandmother, and I wasn't planning on filming. I just stopped by the Lang's house, and I didn't film the scene because I didn't know there was going to be a scene. And maybe that's a rookie mistake because this is the first documentary film I've ever made.
But anyway, Larry told me his mother had come to him in a dream and she told him to follow the music. And then a couple minutes later, Larry hands me a magazine called Badlands Monthly.
Badlands Pawn Gold and Jewelry is here to save the world. The most unbelievable business on the face of the earth is right here in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and the pawn industry will never be the same. We're giving you more of what you want. More electronics, more jewelry, more musical instruments, more guns, more gold, and more rock and roll.
It seemed clear to me and my mom, after Larry handed us the Badlands Monthly magazine and told us about his dream, that he wanted to work here.
And then he handed you a magazine.
And he said, this place has been appearing in my dreams.
Okay.
And it just so happened that my mom knew the owner of the Badlands facility, Chuck Brennan.
Badlands is where the music is, and he showed Zach a pamphlet of Badlands that he had in his house. But that's an enormous coincidence considering Chuck and Lexi know each other, isn't it?
My mom and I flew to Newport Beach, where we went to Chuck's house, his beach house, and I told him the whole story.
I grew up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, right here. And obviously everybody from this region has had the onion rings or heard of the Lang family. And the Badlands was just getting going and just opening. KISS was coming to do a performance. Paul Stanley is one of the owners of the Badlands project.
Chuck pulls out his cell phone, he calls Paul Stanley from KISS.
And he said, Paul, I'm doing this thing with onion rings for the new Badlands Speedway, and it's gonna be huge.
I remember having a conversation with Zach about how he could get KISS involved. And I'm like, I don't understand how KISS is involved in this in the first place, but if you insist upon it, you can kind of treat it like a challenge on The Apprentice, where, you know, in order to win, or to, in this case, get the contract with Chuck, you need to impress his advisors.
They're real foodies. So when I was talking about onion rings to Paul and brought this up, he said he'd like to try them.
On the condition that KISS liked the onion rings, Chuck said he would feature them all summer at the racetrack.
You know how you had that dream and your mom, Olive, God rest her soul, her name's Olive, right? How she said to you in the dream, go to where the music is?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and then you thought, because of all that's going on over there with the music, that's kind of was the desire, right, in your heart? Because I know you had been in Sioux Falls before, and I feel my gift in life is to being a connector and helping making people's dreams come true.
I told Larry and Linda, you should come and cook these at the show, before the show. So we invited him to Badlands to come out and tour the facility.
When we were in the room, when Chuck brought Linda and Larry into the room, and after they toured the Badlands, he sat him down and he said,
I took the liberty of finding out that you make about $500 a week, right, at Wilmot? Is that right? So here's a check for $17,000
Oh my God.
made out to you.
that covers you as an advance on your royalties for these onion rings until the end of race season.
Larry was going to make 50% of all the onion ring sales at the racetrack.
So my suggestion is you tell the guy at Wilmot to take a hike and you go to the bank and put this in your account and miss one day of work. Because once we do this deal, you're not going to go back to Wilmot anyway.
The thing about Larry is he's so loyal. It's just the way he's wired. It's as if he doesn't want to lose his job at the Wilmot Saloon, despite the fact he was presented with a better offer. It's a lot to take in, huh? Hey, Larry. I know it's a lot to take in. Why don't we go take a road or drive up the road and look at that kitchen and see if it'll work? Is that okay?
Yeah, I should take a look at the kitchen before I decide to.
Yeah, let's take a look.
After that meeting, we went to go look at the cook space for the KISS taste test, and Larry hands me the check. He said, "Here, do you want this back?"
Now, do you want this check back till I?
No, it's not my check. I didn't give you the check.
Yours.
That's
Yeah,
your
but
check.
Okay.
He said, "Hold on to it. If you deposit it, then you've made up your mind. If you don't want to work there, then rip it up."
I haven't said yes or no yet.
I know.
'Cause
Larry,
I don't work
that's
that
up to
way.
you. That's up. I know you got a lot to think about.
Yeah.
But he would want an answer soon. Remember, he said that. So
I have nothing for sure yet.
nothing for sure. But at least make the rings tomorrow night for the band. Mike and Lynn said you could take the night off. They don't need to know anything about this yet. But
Mike and Lynn, they know about this?
they don't know about the offer. They know. They know
offer.
that you're making the rings for the band.
Okay,
They
know.
said you could do that.
Okay, so tomorrow I do the, but then Friday and Saturday
You're at Wilmot.
okay, I just want to make sure that I don't want to leave them.
Well, think about it. But tomorrow night we're good, right? This is a good spot for tomorrow night. You can make them here.
You like this, Larry?
I wasn't worried about Kez loving the onion rings. Anybody that eats these onion rings loves them. They're addictive. The secret's in the batter.
I mean, I order most of the supplies here at the bar, but he brings his own supplies in for that recipe, and he does not. He has it in a brown bag, and he doesn't share what's in that brown bag. He mixes it, and he takes his brown bag back out. So no one ever knows what's in that recipe. It's his secret.
It was a homemade recipe that has lived on for 60 years now, and people still want them, and so it's nothing, it's Oh, so we get to see a movie too?
You're going to a concert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Larry, you know Gene Simmons?
Gene Simmons, movie star? Or?
There, he's in KISS, the brother of the band.
Oh my gosh. See, I'm not the name of the groups, but I can't tell you very much. So.
Yeah. Well, Gene Simmons has a big tongue, and he's gonna wrap his tongue around these rings.
Larry had the ring set up in the dressing room, in one of the areas of the dressing room, and we brought Paul in after he was getting ready for the show.
Where's legendary Larry?
Right here, Paul. There he is.
How are you?
Good.
The smell precedes you.
And he sat down with Larry and tried the rings, and it was very interesting because you could tell his mind was thinking right away, and I didn't know if he liked him or if he didn't like him or what was going on, and I didn't want to put him on the spot.
I don't usually eat onion rings, and I'll tell you why. Because most of them aren't any good. You know better than me. I'll get onion rings that are pre-formed and they're chopped up onions, or the batter's not good, but there's nothing like a good onion ring. So, we're ready.
We've been telling them all about him, Larry.
Doesn't need ketchup yet.
Like it authentic. So when he left the room, I went into his dressing room backstage at Badlands and said, "What'd you think?" He said, "Oh, they were great. Some of the best onion rings I've ever had." He went back and got some more, and he sent Gene in to get some and sent Eric in to get some. And
wow, that is good.
Not bad, huh?
These are good.
That's good.
Let's go.
Well, like I told you, Larry, if Paul digs them, you got a
These
gig
are
at
awesome.
the track. So you're officially set up for Larry's Bad Onion Rings at Badlands Motor Speedway. We got a deal. That sound good?
These are awesome.
All right.
Kiss just loved your onion rings. How do you feel?
I know.
You feel good?
Yeah, it's amazing rings.
This is the greatest onion ring moment in the history of South Dakota. Love it. Clearly, Larry had no idea who Kiss the Band even was. And although it was a fun moment, Larry was still hesitant to agree to Chuck's offer. The saloons in his ear, they're telling him, don't go.
Hello?
Hey, Mike, it's Zach. I saw I missed a lot of calls from you, but I didn't get any messages. What's up, man? They didn't want to see Larry go. He's their golden egg. If he leaves, who's going to come to this little saloon?
To me, like the Onion Ring documentary is like not something worth putting years of your life into. It's an interesting like short doc about a quirky character, but he went like overboard trying to finish this movie, and that to me, what Zach's passion and Zach, like what makes Zach want to make this movie is so much more interesting.
I was only concerned about what was best for Larry and the movie. And I knew the Badlands was a grand stage, and it was going to be the happy ending that we deserved.
A few months later, Zach said, "Big news, Pete. Chuck signed an agreement with Larry, and Larry's onion rings are going to be at Badlands Speedway." The number one thing when you're producing a documentary about a person is that person has got to be on board to open up and have their life filmed and give you a lot of time. And Zach was not able to get Larry on board for that, and I think it was because he didn't really want to do the movie ever.
It seemed like Larry was being asked the most of, and also the most uncomfortable with this whole process.
I love working with a team. I'm a team player. I love collaborative experiences with people. I like it because there's a lot of moving wheels in a filmmaking engine, and they all got to move together.
We started colluding behind Zach's back about making the movie about him.
They were telling me that they were feeling weird and they didn't think Larry even knew that he was in a documentary or didn't want to be part of the documentary. So I sent an email to Sean and Pete.
Pete and Sean, the idea that Zach first pitched to us is not what is currently being made. Zach is too close to the subject. He's essentially become Larry Lang's manager.
I think Sean was on the same page.
Making a movie about Zach trying to make this onion ring thing, just telling the true story of it.
I think Drew was absolutely not on the same page.
I still have family in the area around Minnesota parts. People will be surprised if it's not a documentary about Larry's onion rings and that alone.
I flew everybody back, even Pete from Australia, and I put him up in Sioux Falls, South Dakota for the grand opening of the Badlands Motor Speedway.
It was pretty clear at that point that Zach was in over his head and didn't really know what he was doing. I went in intending to film Zach, and I remember that first day at the Speedway after I arrived, I started getting shots of Zach kind of like surreptitiously, kind of like, you know, I'd catch a shot of him when he was like looking the other direction, or I'd get a shot of him like kind of wandering, like walking around. At the time, I was on the fence of whether the movie was going to be about Zach or whether the movie was about Larry. And I was still kind of thinking in the back of my head, like, this really shouldn't be a movie anyway.
There's something called the sunk cost fallacy that I think is very important to define in the context of this story.
I think he was starting to look at his bank account and realize that, like, he was in too deep. You know, I've already put in so much money into this project, I have to finish it. Otherwise, it's a loss. And I'm like, well, the worst thing you can do at that point is to keep sinking money into a project that is sinking, you know. So we had like several days to film like the build-up to Larry's big onion ring launch. And so the Speedway had like a cartoon face of Larry like all over the place. And I'm like, Zach, what's going on? Shouldn't Larry be here?
Larry called at least 2 or 3 times and says, Chuck, this is Larry Lang, and we're not gonna do it. Bye. Hangs up the phone.
Because we couldn't get a hold of Larry, we were kind of looking for something to film. And we were scrambling.
Larry was ghosting us. He wasn't answering. He wouldn't come shoot with us. We even talked about filming at the Wilmot Saloon, and around that time, I think Zach had some kind of like falling out with the owners of the Wilmot Saloon, and they wouldn't let us film there anymore. They accused Zach of trying to steal Larry from them, which was pretty accurate, to be honest.
Larry was supposed to have gotten the day off from Wilmot to make the rings at the racetrack. And as we feared, he didn't show up. My mom, who was back here in Las Vegas, she managed to get Larry on the phone, and she conferenced me in. And we talked to Larry.
Well, his leg's been bugging him, but everything else seems to be better. He had a good talk with Lynn last night and everything, right, Larry?
Right now, I gotta try to get this thing feeling better, you know, and it's...
Larry, what's wrong?
I've got leg problems. Hernia,
Right.
I don't know for sure, but...
Well, Larry, what we want to do with you, it's not much work at all. It's going to be easy, and it's going to be easy on your legs. And but we're planning on coming to see.
For this weekend, I gotta get better here.
No, but see here.
Right now, I'll try to go to the doctor, find out if I can't do it myself. So.
Well, Larry, I'm sorry, Larry, I have a team here that I flew in from around the world just to see you, and I've spent a lot of money, and I have to see you today.
I can hardly walk. You guys don't care. You just go on. I got a lot to do. Get on.
He'll be fine.
He's not fine. Did you just hear that?
He broke down in tears and he hung up the phone.
He just broke down in tears and hung up the phone.
He was fine, honestly.
Oh my God, he just yelled at me. I feel heartbroken. I feel like my heart just shattered in my chest.
Well, don't feel like that.
Are you shitting me?
Well, don't feel like that. I mean, you know, here he is a simple guy, really. He's probably on sensory overload. Well, his leg is really hurting him. He thinks he's going to have surgery.
Yeah, I understand that.
You hurt him. I mean, you can't keep pushing somebody like that. You don't want him to snap.
I think the problem is Larry was never really on board from the get-go, and Linda was, but unfortunately Linda is not Larry.
You know, you might just have to get some B-roll shots and
Stop with the fucking B-roll shots.
I understand what you're saying.
B-roll doesn't make a movie though. B-roll is like what you cut away from when you don't have your character on screen for a few seconds. But if your character isn't in the movie, there's a couple options. I mean, it could be a short profile piece where we use what we shot last fall. That's an option. The other option is we break the fourth wall, and it's a behind-the-scenes thing of us struggling to get Larry, but he doesn't want to do it.
No, Larry's very excited about the deal. Let me make that perfectly clear. He is very excited.
I think you're wrong.
You didn't sound
Larry, you're fucking wrong. Will you shut the fuck up and listen? Hey!
He got excited.
Sorry to scream and curse at you, but you're not here. You're not seeing what we're seeing.
If Larry's the good guy, are we the bad guys?
You know what the most interesting documentary here is going to be? A documentary about how not to handle the subject of a documentary.
The crew, it was too much for some of them to handle, the drama. They thought we were making a movie about a man that didn't want a movie to have, they thought, the crew thought we were making a movie about a guy who didn't want to be in a movie.
You loved the rabbits and you want to tend the rabbits and you want to pet the rabbits. But that's not what happened.
It's not the movie we set out to make, you know?
No.
It's because Larry never really wanted to be in the movie from the beginning, and he just got pushed into it.
There shouldn't be the drama.
There shouldn't be the drama. And the drama came from, I don't know, did all these deals happen for the sake of the documentary?
I'm not the villain. I refuse to accept that.
Sean was very close-minded. He was supposed to edit this project. I moved to Los Angeles.
After that, I kind of distanced myself from the project, and I think Zach really resented me for that.
And he basically told me to go fuck myself, wanted to give me back my Cat Brothers hat, which is the worst thing you could fucking tell me. I wasn't going to listen to him. I wasn't going to let him put the brakes on this production. So Larry never showed up to the Badlands Motor Speedway grand opening, despite the fact that his face is on billboards, it's on containers. So Linda ended up rolling up her sleeves and making the rings herself. And I found out this was the first time she'd ever done that. The following day was our last day of filming, and we hadn't seen Larry one time. I had knots in my stomach. I was crying on and off. I felt lost for a minute there. I felt like my crew turned against me. Like they were criticizing my approach to this movie. It was very hard. You got Drew in the back seat who's spouting out existential thoughts.
We all have these things that we have to weight and counterweight, and I mean our brains are that's just what they are, and we don't do a very good job always sorting them out, so we go with what we know.
Yeah, it's how this for the same reason Larry doesn't want to be on camera. I think I'm to a lesser extent. I'm worried about what other people think of me. I like perceptions. People say they don't matter, but they matter big time.
You got Pete, who's making sense, I think, but they're all kind of frightened. They don't know what's gonna happen next.
What have I done? I don't think I did anything wrong. But maybe I got too close to their lives. I'm feeling really defeated at this moment. He yelled at me on the phone, and here we are, sitting in a rainstorm in the car. I hadn't felt this low since right before I had checked myself into rehab. And I didn't think I would hear from Larry again.
Zach was completely deflated, but in a way, in my own way, I was kind of excited filming Zach and seeing how sad and deflated he was.
I'm looking up a picture of Larry Lang.
I might have pushed him too far. I definitely pushed Larry outside of his comfort zone. And I feared that he hated me. But he didn't. He doesn't hate me.
We finally got Linda on the phone, and it was like Larry's day off from work or something, and he agreed to let us come over and like film him in his house.
On the way to the Langs. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Linda.
Hi there, come on in. Is it
Pretty
stopping
rainy.
now?
Oh no, it's coming down hard. Hi, Larry. Nice to see you. Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
I brought you some cherry cokes.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
You got it, man. So are you feeling rested today?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing okay. Yeah.
That's good. I was a little worried yesterday after our phone call that I might have upset you, and I hope I didn't, because I want to make sure we're on good terms. Yeah.
It was a long day.
I know. I care about you and your family. I just wanted to say that, and I just hope you're not mad at me at all.
No.
Okay, that's good. Oh, why don't we go out front? You want to go out front while there's still light?
Sure.
Is there a rainbow, Larry?
No.
Oh, look at that lightning, Larry. Wow. There's the rainbow. It's straight ahead, coming down.
Oh, yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
There's the rainbow.
That's really something. You saw that, and I didn't.
Look, it goes all the way. Oh, I got to get Linda, too. Let me get Linda. You got to see this rainbow. It's unbelievable.
Oh, it is?
Come on out.
Goodness.
Look, it goes all the way up.
Oh, there it is.
Here, take a step down. You can see the whole thing.
It usually is. Yes, that's our lovely rainbow. Oh, we have a whole one, too. We're going towards our rainbow, Larry. If happy little Jesus fly on the rainbow. Wide, oh, wide and oh. And we, and you, and us.
Wave, Larry. We're waving in the camera.
Yeah, sure appreciate all the things you did.
Oh. Hey, my pleasure. Our pleasure.
So give Larry one more hug.
Larry, one more hug over here. Right here.
Oh,
the real deal. Come on. I love you, man.
Thank you, thank you.
All
Well,
right.
you have blossomed us, or whatever. I mean, you've made what was gone come back. So thank you.
My pleasure.
Will you be coming for the different day of work? Will you be getting the speedway every once in a while?
No, I think we're done filming, but I'll be coming to visit. Have a great night.
Okay. Bye.
Marvin Gaye, take it. Larry never cashed the $17,000 check. He ended up working at the saloon all summer. Linda ended up working at the Speedway. Since Sean quit the project, I ended up moving back from Los Angeles to Las Vegas to edit the version of the movie that I saw in my head, and I enlisted the help of my friend Julian.
My name is Julian Williams. I am a comedian and writer in New York City. Zach Hab flew me out to Las Vegas to help him put together what he had done.
We made a film called Lord of the Onion Rings, and we sent a cut to Dave.
I live in Los Angeles, and I've been a television producer for 9 years, and I watch what they sent me.
And he flat out told me, because he's also one of my best friends, he said, you're not gonna make any money with this movie. You're not gonna recoup your losses. I found out Pete and Sean were secretly recording me. And when Dave told me about this new direction of the movie, I mean, it was hard for me to come to terms with it. But once I took a step back and kind of absorbed the full scope of what they were presenting to me, I was on board.
Zach asked me if I'd help him out, and I told him that I would edit.
I was in so deep financially that I was willing to do whatever had to be done to get my money back.
I started working on this in, I think, October. But it was like right on the heels of my divorce. So at the beginning, it was like a godsend because it was a great distraction. I would come out to Vegas and edit.
I started dating Dave in November, and he showed me the cut that Zach had sent him, and I liked it. But I felt like it had some unanswered questions. Like, I wanted to know what happened at the Speedway.
The Speedway is for sale.
And what happened at Wilmot.
The Wilmot Saloon's for sale.
What was going on with Larry.
He doesn't work. He's collecting unemployment.
And what about the rings? Where could I get the rings?
The onion rings are not being served anywhere.
And it seemed like all the answers pointed to that this story had turned out really sad.
I was in the process of recutting the movie, which I thought was doable, but a challenge, because there was like 300 hours of footage already shot that I was sifting through. But then I found out that he was still filming, and I told him that we had enough. I thought the movie was there, but he was insatiable. He just wouldn't stop.
Zach invited me to join the Capros team, and at that point, that just sounded like a lot of fun. And also, I thought maybe I could help make things right for the Langs. You know, I think everyone sort of thought that as they joined the team. And Zach's positivity and his likability and his genuineness made it really easy to be enchanted with the whole idea.
In retrospect, maybe I should have stopped and cut my losses and walked away. But I didn't. This train's gonna keep moving. This onion ring train is gonna keep moving. I'm just gonna keep riding the wave. I still hadn't delivered a happy ending for the movie.
What have I walked into?
I wasn't gonna stop until I achieved the most spectacular onion ring moment in the history of the world.
Oh my God. Oh, I'm going to Minnesota!
And finally, there was a breakthrough. The jackpot ending that I was seeking.
I'm not sure why you want to go to Minnesota right now, but I heard it's all about onion rings.
Yeah. This news was so big that I knew I had to deliver it to the Langs in person. Going to see Larry and Linda.
Larry! Oh my God, can you believe we're here?
Okay, so as you know, we've been working on this project for over 2.5 years. Just telling your story, and you know it's been an adventure. And about 5 months ago, I had a dream one night, and my dream was Raider rings.
Everybody knows these onion rings.
Wow.
Those are good.
The Oakland Raiders. They're currently in Oakland, and they're relocating to Las Vegas, where I'm from.
Oh, they are?
They're relocating in 2020. Up until last night, it was just an idea. And then I'm going to let my mother take over and tell you what happened last night.
About last night. Like everyone uses that hashtag. About last night. Well, about last night. Last night, I'm out to dinner with my husband. You know, every Thursday night, he goes to the same restaurant, Piero's.
Oh, yes.
Piero's is the premier place to eat out in Las Vegas. Has been for years and years and years. It feels like an old Vegas place, because it is. You never know who you're going to run into at Piero's. I've run into more famous people at Piero's.
Deep fryer is a deep fryer. It's heated with gas, and there's oil in it. And you drop the onion rings in a basket. And then you pick up the basket, take out the onion rings. But you don't do it with your hands because you'll burn your hands because the oil's hot. Okay? I was married 4 times. I was married to Diane Carroll, movie star. You know Diane Carroll? Right. 1, 2, 3, 4 wives.
So Freddie Blessman says, okay, let's do a tasting. I'm gonna get all the Raiders here, Lexi. He's gonna get the owners, the coaches, the assistant coaches, and we're gonna do a tasting of your rings. Wouldn't that be amazing?
I brought you guys this just to celebrate this moment. Raider hats for each of you.
Wow.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Okay, so listen, I mean, nothing's done yet.
Nothing's done yet, but it's a tasting. I want to fly you both to Las Vegas soon and do this tasting. And I'll put you up in a hotel and make you very comfortable.
Stay a night or 2.
And Freddie will take care of, make sure you have everything you need for the tasting.
In the kitchen.
The president of
best.
the Raiders will be there, and if all goes well, you guys are going to the NFL.
It was absolutely thrilling to be on a private jet with Lexi and Zach and Dave. And this visit with the Langs had been sweet and heartbreaking. It looked like they were putting all their stuff in boxes to move out of their family home. And Dave and I thought all the footage that had come before, combined with this trip to Worthington, that was more than enough footage to make a movie.
The angle of the movie that I was planning to edit was Zach kept trying, but he failed. And I thought we could end the movie with, look, he's still trying, the end.
I think we have the movie.
I think you do.
Not yet.
Okay.
We could have it.
I think we do have it.
What's going on here?
What is going on?
What's going on here?
But there's still the tasting.
There, Larry, we're gonna get on that moving walkway. Oh, it's not moving! Oh no! Alright, we're just gonna walk then. Checking into the hotel, stepping over. Alright, good form. It's possible. He's soaking it in. We're picking them up right now. I literally just dropped them off at their hotel 40 minutes ago. And we're going right to Piero's, where the tasting is happening tomorrow night. The most epic onion ring moment in the history of the world.
So tomorrow night we're doing the Raider rings. We're super excited to have them at the Piero's. You know, we've had them ourselves. We absolutely love them.
You've never had them? Oh, you've never had them?
No, we haven't. I was just saying that.
Oh, it's all right. No, it's all right. It's okay. No, it's real.
Okay, cool.
It's a documentary, man. Very
Oh,
cool.
is it a
Yeah,
documentary?
it's a documentary.
On what?
On his guy's onion rings.
Oh, okay.
I've been filming for 2.5 years.
Okay.
All over the country, man.
Oh, I thought it was something like a promo reel and we were
This is
supposed
the
to be seeing.
grand ending, this tasting, tomorrow night.
Oh, is it?
Of this movie.
Okay, perfect.
A deal with the NFL would allow them to keep their home. They would have a very lucrative, gigantic legacy of onion rings for their family. And they'd be able to live a comfortable life, a comfortable retirement, whatever they wanted to do.
We got some really good footage. We got logistics. We walked through the kitchen, got a good tour of the whole facility, went up to the offices.
Here's Larry in the premier Italian restaurant in all of Las Vegas. And Larry, all of a sudden, had this lucid moment saying what an amazing opportunity this would be to honor his family's food legacy.
See, my father died, so there's really been no name transferred. So it's...
He's trying to keep the legacy of the rings alive.
What's your last name?
See, Michael Lang was my dad's name, and he died.
Lang's. Well,
And I worked all my life with him.
We would call them. I mean, we would do like Lang's, Raider rings.
And that was the moment where, I don't know, it just felt like Larry was finally on board with what was happening.
We walked back to where we were sitting, and the owner of the Raiders, Mark Davis, was sitting with Freddie at the table, and Zach perfectly did his spiel, showed him the clip.
And he did a beautiful pitch, and Mark was I think, impressed.
Zach was flying me in the next day for 24 hours for the tasting, and hearing this news from Dave made it sound like this was all possible, like this really could be the deal that changed everything for Larry and Linda. And it was intoxicating. I was super psyched.
Larry, take a picture with him. Hey, Larry, how are you, man? Over here. Good to see you, Mark.
So that was the guy that could make it happen. The rings, your father's rings, could be in the NFL because of that guy.
Well, I was real friendly.
You were perfect. You did everything right. That was exactly right.
Well, you're to keep me posted on.
You're damn right.
Thanks a lot.
Zach was already outside waiting for the valet, and I thought he was going to be with Zach, but he just wandered away.
Linda, did you hear
He's outside. Yes.
No, he's not. He's not out here.
Yes, he is.
Oh, please, you must keep an eye on him.
What are you talking about?
He is. He's here.
Where? I've been outside, Dave.
No, he walked out here.
Larry! Larry, come back! Larry, where are you going? He's so excited he's running away.
I probably should have seen this as a sign that Larry was not up to the task. But there was such a big moment, there was a lot on the line that I didn't really see it for what it was.
Where are you going, man?
Yeah, that was terrifying when Larry wandered away.
Dude, I can't even.
Everything about Larry's experience this day, from when I picked them up at their house in Worthington.
Hello.
Hello there, how you doing?
Good, how are you
Welcome.
today?
Are you ready to...
Hello, Larry.
To flying on an airplane for really only the second time in his whole life.
I got TSA pre-check. We can leave our shoes on.
To being in Las Vegas, to seeing the sights.
It says sexy on the key, Larry.
Don't give Larry that.
I thought it was him just adjusting and being a little overwhelmed in this new environment. And I thought he'd be okay the next day.
First of all, because Zach is a genuinely good person and a very generous friend, it was hard for us to accept that he was doing anything wrong, but it was pretty evident quickly that this was a manipulative relationship. But, we were there helping out our friend, and he set up something huge and exhilarating.
Larry wanted to go in and play blackjack.
Larry, you want to play blackjack?
He doesn't know how to.
You don't know how to play? Before you go to bed today, maybe you can play a little bit.
Why don't you show him how to play?
Oh, I don't gamble.
I don't know.
But maybe Dave would.
I don't know how to do it, so I'm.
I don't gamble. I used to have a gambling problem a long time ago. So
I didn't know that.
No, I haven't played in a long time.
Well, it's a good thing to stay away from.
No,
because
yeah, I mean.
It can be just so, you think, oh, just one more time, or just next time I'll win.
Right.
And
yeah,
it's
that's what it
so
is.
Deceptive.
You know, like,
snares you just
yeah, I mean, I really did have a problem. I actually had to go to rehab for it. And, but I'm perfectly fine now. Nothing phases me. And now it's just part of the fabric of my hometown.
Except having the Langs around you.
We had just went to In-N-Out Burger right after we went to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. The day was starting great. Then we went shopping. The Langs went into Smith's grocery store and picked up the ingredients for their secret batter. We were very respectful of that. We didn't go into the store with them.
I flew in Mike Lurie from Washington, D.C.
They walked back out, and we got to the restaurant. They were prepping for the day. Linda was overwhelmed. It's a foreign kitchen for her. The mixer wasn't right. Linda needed certain specifications to make the batter the right way, and the first batch didn't turn out right.
We're gonna start over.
When the mixer wasn't working, Dave stepped in with a shovel-sized egg beater to mix it. Everyone wanted this tasting to be a success. I was standing next to Larry, and for a man that had been cutting onions his entire life and making onion rings, it's as if he forgot everything he ever knew.
Oh, be careful, Larry.
Should I leave and take that off?
Peel the onion. Peel the skin.
Okay.
No, don't.
And that's when it really started to get in my head, like, so something's not right here. So Dave and Pat from Piero's ended up cutting onions.
The whole thing was already surreal, but witnessing Larry's mental decline was an almost incomprehensible thing to process.
Larry was completely uninterested in helping Linda make the onion rings.
Stay with your sister. Keep an eye on your sister, okay? She's making onion rings.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Molly, thank God she had like over a dozen years of restaurant experience. She ended up cooking the rings with Linda. Dave, Mike, and Molly were all supposed to be filming this giant tasting. And by the end, the only one with a camera was Mike.
They're really good.
Awesome. Are the onion rings? You try them?
Yeah, great. Really good.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for trying them. How are they? How they taste? Good?
Very good.
Awesome. You like them?
Oh my God, they're so good. Where can I buy them? I need them.
Give you a doggy bag. Yeah.
Fabulous. Yeah, doggy bag.
How they taste, man?
These are delicious. They really are. They're very light.
Crispy.
They're not that oily, crispy.
What is he pointing at? What's going on?
I think Zach's back there with Larry.
Should I go back there, do you think?
I think they're good.
Hey, Larry, get off the ground.
Larry was all over the place.
It's all right. Hey, come on.
This cook was frying eggplant, and Larry just took his utensil and started frying it himself.
We were so not prepared for this. We didn't know what to do in this situation. We knew that outside the kitchen was this high society, high stakes tasting going on.
They're all companies that like
Line up back at the table for dinner.
You go to them and they will do this. You give them, if you don't want to give it, you show them how to do it, and they will make it and mass produce it for you.
What do you think about them? You like them? Awesome. Thanks for trying them.
Larry wasn't making the onion rings, so I just tried to help Linda because it seemed to me that she was focused on the onion rings because potentially her family's livelihood and legacy depended on it. And so she was much less focused on the fact that her brother was obviously disoriented.
Larry started to say things that weren't making any sense.
Is this it? Are you looking for this?
Those are just paper. It's my stuff.
Oh, man.
I made it for 80 years.
But Larry, we're in Las Vegas. This is Piero's restaurant. It's not your restaurant.
Well, I'm going to take care of what people I know here.
Larry, stop. Come here.
And it became evident that he thought he was somewhere else.
Come on, Larry, please.
This is me. This is my life. Yeah.
Larry, you're not in Michael's right now.
I'm going around for my customers. I had to put a gun behind
But Larry, okay, listen.
But they're not your customers.
They're not your customers.
They certainly are.
This is Las Vegas. You're not in Minnesota right now.
They know me. They know me.
They do, but this is a separate thing. It's just a tasting of the onion rings themselves.
But
it's not about the service.
It's just a tasting of the onion rings.
This was your Christmas party, and we're going to do that best we can.
No, it's not. It's just a tasting. It's not about the service.
Yeah, there's a head chef that it's his kitchen, Larry.
Yeah. He was talking about service, so we tried to send him out to the tasting.
Larry, you want to serve these? Come with me. I'll show you where we're going.
Okay,
And he wasn't into that.
Larry, stop. Larry, stop. Larry.
I was concerned that he would hurt himself being in that kitchen and the deal.
Larry, I got to take you on a drive. I'm going to take you back to your room. Come on.
I don't have a room.
Yeah, you do. At the hotel.
Can you wait till get this? I want to get this.
No, don't worry. Larry, please.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my gosh.
These are my big.
Come here, Larry. Larry.
Part of me was shaking my head in horror at what was going on, and another part of me was still hopeful that this was gonna change things for them and make their lives better. But more than anything, there was no time to think. We were all just trying to keep our heads above water.
We got to pick up some stuff. Come on.
All right, we got to get out of here.
Come with me.
Can you get credit for the...
No, stop. Stop. Let go.
You did fantastic.
Zach called his Uncle Ryan, who Larry grew up with.
Yeah, I need help. I need you to occupy him. It's like a favor. I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm kind of scared here.
I'll follow you out. Go ahead, push that. And then walk out.
I'm so scared.
Good.
I'm so scared.
Good. And then follow Zach. Nope, we're good. We're almost there.
Thank you very much for all you've done.
No, I haven't done anything
Thank
yet.
you very much.
Wait, Larry, stop.
The Westgate. I got him in the car.
Okay.
Are you there? Ryan?
The guys really enjoyed you.
Larry, you did a great job tonight.
Oh yeah, they were headed outside. They were going to have some more fun.
It was fun.
But it seemed like once they got in there, they started.
I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Goodbye.
It went well. I think it was good.
Yeah, I mean, for last minute and the hurry and everything.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, man. I think I know what it's like. I don't know what it's like. I mean, you ran that restaurant for decades. Now you're on vacation, Larry. Look, you're in Las Vegas, and you get to go home tomorrow.
I'm staying here.
You're staying in Vegas?
Oh, yeah.
You're not going home?
No.
Oh, Larry, now we're back at the Westgate where Elvis Presley used to stay.
Well, thank you very much.
Come on, Larry, come with me.
Okay.
Should gamble. Nope. Oh my gosh. No, put your wallet away. It's all taken care of.
You sure?
You're my guest. Put it in your pocket. Hey, there's Ryan. Ryan.
Oh, my darling, I love you, and I always will. Thank you very much, everybody.
Great.
Larry, should we get some Cokes brought up?
Yeah, that'd be fine.
Great. Okay. Hi. Hello. Hi. I don't know if I'm going to be coming back. Just tell them the time. You got to handle the event there.
Use the railing. Zach.
Oh, I'm not even at Piero's. I'm at the Westgate at Larry's hotel room.
Come on down, Larry. Yep,
With Linda's cooking with Molly, and Mike's there too filming, and I'm here with Dave and Ryan and Larry. And there's a separate storyline happening right now. I will talk to you later. You handle the room. You handle the room. Okay. I don't know how else to say that.
Yeah, we should head back.
Should we?
What just happened?
He's got to go home.
He's going home tomorrow, right?
Oh my God.
Zach, in the briefest way possible, tell me what just happened.
Larry, all of a sudden, had a meltdown in the restaurant kitchen. He thought he was in Minnesota. He thought he was at Michael's. He really thought he was at Michael's restaurant, and he had to go manage the staff, and he started touching the food. And then, I don't know, he was getting in Linda's way, and Linda couldn't make the rings, and he kept touching the eggplant, and the guys were like, "What are you doing?" And I really don't know what the fuck just happened. Hi. My Uncle Ryan's with Larry, but we had to get somebody on the way to relieve Larry, so we have a nice caregiver going over there. She's a sweet gal named Kathy, and she's gonna stay with Larry, but I think the goal should be to get you back as soon as possible to be with your brother.
Nailed it.
Yeah! Great job.
Thank you, Mike.
As a filmmaker, there's a line that every person has to draw for themselves, like how far should I push this and how much can I manipulate my subjects' lives.
Hope. He kept saying, this gives me hope. When you brought the hat and you were talking about all these things, I said, Larry, do you want to do this? Yeah, it gives me hope that all these bad things that happen.
Larry's had a lot of these failures and tragedies and losses and stuff like that, and I feel bad, but I don't think it's Zach's place to try to change that and try to give Larry like a big success or this big, national publicity or this fame. I don't think Larry ever really wanted that.
I think it originally was a very pure motive, as in saying this is something that he thought was really going to be a good topic, a good subject.
How did I know when we were done filming? I would have kept filming had it not been for Dave, who told me, look, enough is enough. We got what we need. Let's just make the movie.
Hi.
Everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine.
Oh, good. I truly hope that this film ultimately lays a path for the greatest onion rings in the world to live on forever and be enjoyed by as many people as possible. I'm glad you came on here. I love it.
She wants to order room service. Is that okay?
Yes.
I really like Zach. He's really kind and he's really giving and he's very passionate.
You guys, when's the last time you had room service in your life? Today's today.
Zach's enthusiasm and his willingness to throw money at this project were powerful. We didn't say no, we chose to help him, which meant that we were enabling his addictive behavior and made us complicit in putting Larry in this situation.
Okay, Linda, I'll see you in the morning. Larry, I'll see you in the morning. Get some sleep tonight and enjoy your dinner.
Okay.
Okay.
If he pulls off the Raiders thing and Linda and Larry get a percentage of sales from an NFL concession, that will change everything for them. I think you can list all the pros and all the cons, and even if all the pros outweigh the cons, the fact remains that they never asked for this. He wanted to give this to them, but I think this amount of change is something that someone should ask for.
Did my gambling addiction rear its head in the form of making this movie? Yes. I'm still a recovering addict. I have had to own every decision I've made, and coming to terms with that has been painful. I thought I was rescuing Larry and the onion rings, but really, I needed to rescue myself. It's like a month ago. Larry and Linda were out here, and just got this note in the mail. Dear Lexi, Zach, and crew, I know time has gone by, but we want to express to you our thanks for an amazing opportunity you arranged for Larry and I. You treated us so royally, from our flight to our rooms and unending delicious food. Our flight back was so beautiful. Thank you. God bless. Sincerely, Linda and Larry Lang. That's so nice. Look at this. It's so great. I mean, what a crazy journey.
Do you think Zach will ever give up?
I don't know. If he's you'll find out that some of this stuff comes back in your face. I don't know. But I guess you can't get all wired up. If somebody does something to you, you gotta keep on going.
Even if they put a wire on you right there?
But you gotta just keep on going.